from mid-2017 till 2020, President Biden had a personal office. This is after he was vice president. It was sponsored by the University of Pennsylvania's Biden Center. He had a closet with documents that he took from his time as vice president, which is very important, as we'll point out why in just a minute. Took those documents as vice president. His attorneys went to go pack this up, this office up recently, and they discovered a trove of documents that belonged not to Joe Biden, but to the U.S. government, including at least 10 classified documents marked SCI, which is one of the highest levels of classification. That means sensitive, compartmented information. So at least 10 documents marked with that and a whole host of other documents that he should not have been in possession of. This is for 6 years, not 6 months like Donald Trump. He's now got a U.S. attorney investigating him out of Chicago, and you've got this new U.S. attorney who just got back from his another assignment in overseas, who is investigating Donald Trump over the same matter. And the question is, how are you going to move on Donald Trump and take any criminal action against Donald Trump when Joe Biden had classified documents for 6 years and he can't even make the argument that they were declassified because he doesn't have the power to do that. We now know the documents, the SCI documents, the classified documents that Joe Biden had for 6 years, stored away in a private office, and again, in a closet.
Controlled by, it looks like, Penn State.
University
of Pennsylvania. Yes.
Yes. And so we don't know who had access to that office. Again, Joe Biden was vice president. He doesn't have declassification powers, so there's no argument about that. We know it involved Ukraine.
Now we know.
Remember all the impeachment of President Trump over Ukraine? And then remember Joe Biden's comment when he left Ukraine, you don't fire the prosecutor now, you don't get your $1 billion?
Right.
That's so that was there. So he took that, which would have been interesting info that maybe investigators would have liked to see. Second, Iran. Can you get much more high-profile classified than that when you're talking about likely their nuclear program and assets? Because we know that if it's SCI information on Iran, it's information about intel sources and methods. That means it's the people inside Iran giving us the intel.
I mean, the seriousness of this is nobody should be running around with classified documents. But a vice president doesn't have near the authority that a former vice president has nowhere near the authority as a president.
And here these documents relate, as Jordan was pointing out, to really areas in which Biden had an personal interest, especially Ukraine, and that's very troubling. And the Iran nuclear program was probably among those documents. Why did he select those? Why did he put those in? What motives were engendered because of that? Those are the questions that I want to know, Jay.
The Department of Justice, as we know, executed a search warrant on the home of a former president. Unprecedented move. Okay, got a judge to sign it. You had this entire motion for contempt the federal government filed against President Trump's team and the former president, and the judge denied it. So now you wonder, Andy, what was in the background of that? Because we know this stuff happened late October. The denial of the contempt was December.
Why are you not raiding Joe Biden's house in Delaware? If you're raiding Mar-a-Lago because there are documents in there that are classified documents, sensitive documents, top secret documents, why are you not treating similarly situated people in the same way, Mr. Attorney General? Why are you discriminating against similarly situated people? What's the difference between what Donald Trump had and what Joe Biden had in his office?
Well, I'll tell you. Donald Trump was the president of the United States and had the authority to declassify if he so chose.
Joe Biden did not.
The vice president did not. I think they got trouble trying to go after Donald Trump, former president, on documents that were classified that he had in his possession at Mar-a-Lago and not do anything. And there's just no way they could do this. It would be such a mistake for the Department of Justice.
Well, it would be. It would be selective prosecution. It would not be treating similarly situated persons in the same way.